Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, we're diving into some absolute madness today. But real quick, before we jump into the deep end, I've got to let you know that the critically acclaimed audiobook for the story we're exploring is actually available right now. There's a link for it right down in the description. Trust me, by the time we're done here, you are absolutely going to want to check that out. Because, picture this scenario. It's exactly 2:23 a.m. Pacific time. You're just minding your own business, and boom, the world practically ends. If you're indoors, you are just gone. Our protagonist, Carl, somehow survives this, but his entire reality is flipped upside down in a second. His head is swimming with bizarre new info, he is freezing cold, and he's literally running for his life outside in a pair of pink Crocs that don't even fit him. And then it hits him with this terrifying realization. He's suddenly the star of a deadly televised galactic game show. No way, right? Section 1. Welcome to the dungeon. So here's what happens. In a single blinding flash, literally every human-made structure on Earth, buildings, subways, tents, you name it, they all just atomize. They collapse into this massive heap, sink straight into the ground, and transform into an 18-level labyrinth that wraps around the entire globe. And inside, it's just crawling with monsters, devious traps, and, of course, crazy loot. Welcome to the dungeon crawler world. But here's the real kicker. Surviving down here is not what you'd think. Yeah, you've got 18 deadly levels, but worse, there's a strict time limit on every single one. If you don't find the stairs going down in a few days, it's game over, literally. And survival isn't just about swinging a sword or being strong. It's a reality TV show. You need views, you need followers, you need clout. If you want to survive, you've got to take out those goblins with some serious style to win over these super wealthy, generous alien benefactors watching from across the galaxy. Section 2. Surviving the LitRPG genre. Now, if you're not familiar with the term, LitRPG is this genre that basically smashes together sci-fi and fantasy storytelling with the rigid rules of computer and tabletop RPGs. If you're a hardcore gamer or a D&D fan, this is your absolute dream. You get to completely geek out over compounded damage points, willpower stats, leveling mechanics, the whole nine yards. But let's be honest, for a casual reader who just wants a good story, staring at that much data can feel, well, a little overwhelming. But I've got the ultimate cheat code for you if you're feeling skeptical. If you love the numbers, reading the stats will totally enhance the experience. But if you're just here for the plot, you can literally just skip the stats. Think of the leveling mechanics like a really dense footnote in a textbook. You just go, okay, cool, they leveled up, moving on. The pacing and the incredible story do not suffer one bit if you just breeze right past all the math. Section 3. Humor and talking cats. A huge reason why this book is so universally loved is its relentless, laugh-out-loud humor. It honestly gives off major Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy vibes, where pretty much every paragraph has a joke that just lands flawlessly. And a lot of that comedy is driven by the system AI. It acts as this slightly obnoxious, totally hilarious narrator that constantly pops in to announce achievements or read off these absurd item descriptions. It has this weirdly specific, deeply amusing personality that keeps the whole thing so wildly entertaining. And that wild tone perfectly matches the pop culture landscape of this series. While anyone can enjoy it, it is a total masterclass in Gen X nostalgia. It doesn't beat you over the head with it, but it drops these perfectly timed references. We're talking shout-outs to Stargate, or, acknowledging the universal truth that there's only one true MacGyver. It's a little inappropriate, it's a bit dude bro, and it is entirely unapologetic about just having a fun time. Which brings us to the absolute MVP of the series. Look, Carl knows that cats can be difficult, but enter Princess Donut. Thanks to the weird magic of the dungeon, Carl's feline companion actually gains the ability to talk. Now, normally, a talking animal companion is a bit of a cliche, right? But here, it is comedic gold. Princess Donut is demanding, self-centered, and utterly hilarious. She'll literally be yelling at Carl to check his human male privilege while they're dodging fire from lava-spitting llamas. It's brilliant. But honestly, the greatest trick this story pulls is the massive gap between expectation and reality. You come in expecting this goofy premise, a guy in pink Crocs and his talking cat, but you end up staying because the character work is shockingly deep. Beneath all that absurdity, the author weaves in these genuinely tragic backstories for Carl's rivals. He explores Carl's messy past with his dad and his ex, and he builds this incredibly touching bond between him and Donut. When characters bite the dust in this dungeon, it actually really hurts. And all of that character depth builds into this massive overarching narrative. The author, Matt Dinniman, isn't just flying by the seat of his pants here. He expertly plants these little seeds right from the jump. Like very early on, Donut equips this item without reading the fine print. It's essentially cursed armor, and practically guarantees that when she hits level 9, some very bad things are going to go down. It creates this crystal clear roadmap, letting us know the author has the whole beginning, middle, and end totally mapped out. Section 4, the final verdict. So, if you're feeling a bit bogged down by super heavy, deathly, serious, grimdark fantasy, consider this your ultimate palate cleanser. The best way I can describe the vibe is this specific pop culture mashup. Take the televised high-stakes deathmatch from Stephen King's The Running Man, mash that up with the live-action video game energy of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and then top the whole thing off with the insane, highly descriptive loot drops from the Borderlands games. Mix all that together, and boom, you have Dungeon Crawler Carl. Now, I do have to bring up the absolute phenomenon that is this series' fandom. They are incredibly passionate, and they will tell you one thing over and over. The audiobooks are better than sex. Fans universally rave about the narrator, Jeff Hayes. The sheer energy, the distinct voices, the impeccable comedic timing. The community basically demands that you listen to the audiobook, insisting it's hands down the best way to experience the adventure. So it all boils down to this. Are you willing to step outside your reading comfort zone for a bit? Whether you're a hardcore gamer analyzing every single stat, or just someone who loves a fast-paced, hilarious story with surprising heart, this series is something completely fresh. You just have to accept the absurdity, let yourself go, and brace yourself for a seriously wild ride. Honestly, how long do you think you'd survive down there before the galaxy just completely tuned out? Well, as I promised earlier, you don't have to wait to start finding out. The full, highly praised Dungeon Crawler Carl audiobook is available right now. Just click the link in the description below to grab your copy and step into the dungeon today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.